Hello everyone, I'm Sarah, and I want to welcome you today to today's episode. I often discuss the ripple effect, how one person's stupidity or arrogance can affect many lives for generations. These are lives that victims will never know about or be able to thank. They are the unsung heroes for us. And I'm so very, very sorry that they have to go through this. As a mother, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude for helping bring justice for Kenley. I never got to meet you and say thank you, but thank you. Today my topic is crucial. I examined the problematic yet crucial issue, the impact of a deadly crash on witnesses and the immense responsibilities they carry on a long and awful, painful journey toward justice for us. For me, it was 4 years, and also for them, it was 4 years. And I am now working on keeping him, Dennis Rodriguez Abeyta Jr., in prison. Today I want to discuss how an ordinary drive home from an evening out with a family can change lives forever. Please consider how those who witnessed the crash may have been affected for years. The responsibilities they have to now bear are unforgettable. We live it every day, sometimes only what we see in our heads because it's too hard to see the photos of crash. But what's worth, I do not know. I still cannot look at those photos. What you think about this? Somebody driving down a road after having a nice dinner with their family, maybe shopping for Christmas, and in an instant, the peaceful night was shattered by a deafening roar of an engine as a black Dodge car screamed past them at what was 136 miles per hour. Before they could comprehend the danger, a gut-wrenching, bone-rattling crash erupted before them. A gold Nissan parked innocently at a state-sanctioned rest area was destroyed in a horrific explosion of mangled metal and shreds of grass which flew everywhere around him. Amid the wreckage, a lifeless gray dog flies 500 feet through the air and lies motionless next to a dumpster. Your hands tremble as you thumble to dial 911. Just think about that, what they had to go through. Your voice shaking as you choke out the words, "There's been a crash, not an accident, and someone's dead." The image of a crushed body still inside the car burns itself into their minds, or into your mind. The reality hits you like a tidal wave. This was someone's child, someone's loved one, and a young man who had stopped to rest to prepare for an interview that he had prepared for 8 years, 8 long years. An interview for an emergency room position. My son. Now the scene haunts you or haunts them as a vivid reminder of how reckless, selfish choices can rip lives apart instantly. That night becomes a turning point, a moment that you or I will never forget. Carrying the weight of witnessing a life stolen by a preventable tragedy. Yeah, preventable. It was a damn drunk who had been caught many times drinking, had beat up his girlfriend in a bar. Normally, or typically they have many, many times they've had chances to stop, but they're always given leniency. You will find that I always say that the criminal has all the rights, but they do. Now, witnessing such devastation is not merely about seeing it, it's about feeling it deeply. Witnesses often find themselves haunted by images of the crash. PTSD, images they never asked for and can never forget. These are not first responders. They're not trained to do this. They were just driving down the road, minding their own business, following the rules, and this happened. They cannot forget the sound of the shattering glass and the sight of a body lying motionless, and the twisted forms of vehicles become part of you, a grim, indelible mark that remains long after the scene is cleared. And incidentally, they have to drive by it nearly every day. Witnessing a tragedy inflicts more than emotional scars. It also brings real and heavy burdens. Responsibilities persist until justice is pursued, even long after. Today we will discuss these topics in detail. In the eyes of the justice system, a witness to a crash is more than just a bystander. You are a crucial link in the chain of truth. Your testimony could change the outcome of this case, seeking justice for victims. This is not the time to get out your telephone, take a picture, and put it on Facebook. I will talk about this in a minute, but this can get you in an awful lot of trouble. So what does this mean for a witness? First, you should immediately provide law enforcement an accurate and honest statement. Everything you observed, the speed of the vehicles, any erratic movements, or signs of driver impairment could be vital. The details that may seem insignificant to you could be critical puzzle pieces needed to establish accountability. So never underestimate the importance of your memory. And I know it's hard because you're in shock. The unimaginable has happened. Witnesses have responsibilities that extend beyond an initial statement. You might be called to testify during a trial, which can be increasingly intimidating. The prosecution and the defense will rigorously question you, testing your memory, reliability, and integrity. And believe me, these defense attorneys want and will find loopholes. You will feel like you are the criminal. And I'm so sorry for that, because I know I felt that way. The criminal gets all the rights. You may feel nervous or scared, but your role is to honor the truth as you witnessed it, to speak for those who are no longer have the voice, and provide clarity in the pursuit of justice. Additionally, there are legal ramifications if you discuss what happened with others. Be very, very careful of this. I mentioned recently that in Nevada, a couple of weeks ago, they passed a law that says that if I posted Dennis Rodriguez mugshot, or Dennis Rodriguez Abedas Jr.'s mugshot before he was convicted and became a felon, I could have gotten a lot of trouble. So you have to be very, very careful of that as well. Now, until that trial, there will be so many added pressures to somebody who is a witness. That could be years. And let's not forget the days from work, the frustration, the nightmares, the PTSD, the money that is spent, all because some selfish drunk decided to drive. That's all it is. Some selfish drunk. Here are some responsibilities you never asked for, but the victims' families will forever be grateful to you, and we will never know you. Sharing details about the crash on Facebook, TV, or other public platforms before a trial might seem harmless, but it can have serious consequences. Now, that also includes your family members and friends. Okay? Don't tell them. Public statements can unintentionally prejudice the case, making it harder to find impartial jurors or even alert those involved to adjust their stories. Hey, and like I've said over and over and over again, the defense attorney is always looking for loopholes. Think loopholes. Just like I said, defense attorneys may use these comments to undermine a witness's credibility, arguing that they are based on unreliable in some cases. Yes, they do make you feel like you're the criminal. I know I felt that. Witnesses to a crash might not realize the publicity, sharing details before a trial, whether on social media or interviews, can have serious legal consequences. Like I said, violating court orders, like such gag orders, could lead to contempt charges, fines, or even jail time. Yes, jail time. Public statements might also interfere with the investigation, risking obstruction of justice charges, or opening a door to defamation lawsuits if the accusations are unverified. You don't want that. Be careful, and the family members you talk to may also have to be told not to say anything. In this age of social media, it is best not to say anything, and to be careful that kids hear everything and want to post everything on social media. Not only kids. I mean, I've known grown women to post everything on it, embarrassing things on it. Worse, if a witness public comments contradict their testimony, they could face perjury charges. To protect the integrity of the case and themselves, witnesses should avoid speaking publicly and let the legal process go. I know I said that a couple of times in this talk, but it's so true. Beyond the legal ramifications, prematurely speaking out can also have a personal cost. Witnesses might face backlash or harassment, especially if their statements spark controversy or even danger to themselves or their families. Come on now. That's where Marsy's Law came into effect in some ways. Do you really think that the mother of this child or their friends is going to think that it's anything other than an accident, and it's the poor person that killed somebody? They're not thinking that you're the victim or that somebody's been killed. They're just thinking that their friend, their family member made a mistake. It was an accident. Now, worse yet, is reliving such a traumatic event in the public forum can amplify your emotional distress. If you find yourself in this situation, remember that the best way to honor the truth and seek justice is by letting legal process run its course. Speak in the court, not in the media. I know I've said that 10 times in this speech, but it's so, so true, especially in this day and era. I want to express my deepest gratitude to all the witnesses who stepped forward despite all this emotional toil. The courage and willingness to share what you saw play an indispensable role in pursuing justice. You carry a weight you never asked for, yet your strength and resolve provide a voice for those who can no longer speak, like my son. Thank you to whoever you were that was willing to endure these challenges. Your bravery makes a difference, not just for the victims' families, but for the society striving for accountability and justice. You are seen, valued, and profoundly appreciated. especially by victims. To all the witnesses who stepped forward, thank you for enduring the challenges, for standing up in the face of adversity, and for helping ensure that truth prevails. Your bravery makes a difference, not just for the victims' families, but for society, striving for accountability and justice. You are seen, valued, and profoundly appreciated. To the person or to the family that witnessed the crash, my son's crash, thank you for calling it in. Thank you, because he would have laid there. For how long, I do not know, if you hadn't done so, because it was at about 2 a.m. in the morning on a lonely road in Texas. If you are reading this or listening to this, thank you. I don't know who you are, but thank you. Please remember that one moment can change everything. There is a ripple effect. I want to say thank you for joining me. And I also want to say again and again, I am not an attorney. I am a teacher, and I was in the military, and I'm also a guest speaker, but not an attorney. What I'm talking about is what I have discovered in the last few years. And I guess what was really hard was with all what I thought was reality was a myth. Was myth. And I hope that you've learned something from this. And thank you again. And I am the proud mother of Dr. Kenny Jean Rainey, who lost his life on January 25th, 2019. Thank you.